Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Infallible, Season 2, Episode 10, I believe. I don't even remember. I never check these before This is the same intro I do every time because I don't check them ever. Yeah,
I think it's
episode 10.
episode 10.
Yeah, 10, 10. I should really start checking that, shouldn't I? Anyway,
Yep.
episode 10. Last one was cryptozoology.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about the monarchy, which is a topic that we briefly touched on in the game show episode when the Queen died. Um, and if you remember in that episode, I was very for the monarchy, and Sona
Right.
was against the monarchy. And what's ended up happening is we were planning not to talk about it because I've changed my opinion. I don't like the monarchy anymore after the coronation. But Sona is actually for the monarchy now, so we've done a complete Uno reverse, and so we're going to talk about it now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the whole backstory. But we'll get into the small talk. How you been, Sona? What's going on in life?
It's been quite boring. It's summer holidays right now from
Yeah,
uni.
we've done
I
some fun
basically
things.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. We've done bowling and stuff in it and
yeah,
Portugal. We went Portugal.
the last episode, but like in the time it's taken from this one to the last to this one now, from the last one, we've gone to Portugal, Lisbon.
That
Pretty
was
good.
good, by the way. We should do another one day.
We should. You know what? I went to my work, but I went back to my workplace here, and there's this manager there who was like on holiday when I was planning it, and he
Yeah.
actually told me that he studied in Lisbon for 2 years, right? And like I didn't know this before I booked the thing, but I told him where we went, and he was like, "You went to the crappiest place in all of Lisbon because it's just the city. There's nothing to do there." And I was like, "No wonder we have to travel so far to get to anything like meaningful." But yeah,
Well,
even though wait, what?
actually, I thought it was all right though. The
I
city,
think
that's like, you know.
we got to see the culture, right? And to be fair,
Yeah.
like even though we had to travel like an hour to get to like Sintra and Belém or whatever, like it wasn't that much of a travel cost, right? Like it didn't take that long,
No, no.
really.
Also, I'm assuming that the places that he's talking about will probably be more expensive as well.
Probably, though Lisbon is one of the more expensive areas of Portugal in general. If
Yeah,
like
obviously,
from
yeah. It's the capital, so yeah,
it's
it
the
would be.
capital, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But you know, you live and you learn, right? You live and you learn.
yeah,
And we got so many inside jokes from that. I'm the Chips Ahoy addict now.
yeah.
We
You
had the
know, I'm
yeah
thinking maybe like Belgium or
Belgium. That's a good one.
because but you know what's interesting? So you know how I kept saying Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
Right. Netherlands and Belgium, they share a border, but it's not like any other border in the world. It's just a line, a white line that goes through a town.
Oh, is it? Oh, yes. You can
Yeah,
just
yeah.
walk casually, right?
Yeah, yeah, just walk past it. So technically, one foot in Belgium, one foot in Netherlands. You're both countries.
Yeah, I've heard that about Europe.
Yeah,
Thankfully,
so
we
like,
can't have that,
but if
obviously.
we did that, if we chose one of them, technically we could visit both countries.
Yeah, but I feel like the time, like it would take forever to travel to the border and then go anywhere meaningful in that time. It
Yeah,
would take a
yeah, well,
while
yeah, but at least we could say we
without
did
a
it.
car. I mean, you got a car now. You can drive us in Belgium. I mean, Belgium.
Insurance is out of this world, mate. Okay, and I don't trust myself in other countries. They might have like slightly different rules about something, and I don't
They might
know.
have those, what's it called? Like those roads that we saw in Portugal, like the ones that go way up and they're super narrow.
Yeah, yeah, those were deadly, man.
You know, in Bournemouth, they have similar roads. My dad was driving, I was there, like, holy crap, bro, those roads are narrow. Like, it's only
We're
one
actually
car.
we're actually going Bournemouth this week.
Yeah, 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 I heard. You should look at the roads when you drive there, because holy crap, it's so narrow.
Yeah, country roads in England in general, just outrageous.
Bro, I'm only taking the bus if I ever go to a countryside, bro. I'm not risking that shit ever.
Yeah.
Anyway, now that our travel small talk has gone out the way, let's talk about the monarchy. So I haven't actually prepared a list because I feel like the topics we have are quite like broad. So have you got any small ones first before we get into the main one, which
What
is should
about
the monarchy be abolished?
what you wanted me to talk about certain things outside the monarchy before we talk about monarchy?
No, no, as in like small debate topics within the monarchy, if you have any. If you don't, we can jump straight
Oh,
to the
right,
main one.
okay. Do you want to talk about Andrew?
Sure.
Alright, that's okay. Alright. So,
Oh my god, you just got really loud all of a sudden. What the hell?
Oh, sorry.
No,
Can
no,
you
it's
hear
all
me?
good.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, here I'm closer now to the mic. Uh,
You're doing some ASMR shit going on right now.
so Andrew obviously had those allegations against him.
Yep.
Technically the allegations because it never went to court in it.
Yeah, you paid her off in it.
That yeah. You're allowed to do that. I don't see why you're not allowed to. That's fine. But it
Oh, that
also,
sets a very dangerous precedent. Like, there's a tax for
yeah.
every crime.
Well, it's only a tax that the victim is allowed to accept.
Yeah, true.
So like basically they're saying that, oh, the victim can either pursue you and make sure you get in prison, or give them the amount of money that they'll accept.
Yeah. I'm shocked
Um,
that she accepted the settlement for that though. Like, she had a chance
well,
to put away a royal.
well,
That's crazy.
probably because she was 17, wasn't she?
Yeah.
In my eyes, that's basically an adult. It's basically the same as 18.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. If you have the chance to put away a royal, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it probably wasn't as scarring as people have made it out
Yeah,
to be.
true.
Like it was disgusting, I'm assuming, because you got old, sweaty 50-year-old,
Yeah.
whatever. But the whole experience of doing it, of having like intercourse, that probably wasn't the first time she'd done it. So
Ooh, that's
probably,
an interesting
yeah,
interesting thing.
100%. You guys don't know, like kids have sex all the time, man.
Yeah, hookup culture, innit?
Yeah, like even at secondary school, I saw it like a lot.
We should do an episode on that at some point. I mean, I saw it in secondary as well.
Yeah, so like, man, there are girls that are doing it at like 15, even 14. So
Can't keep the legs closed, can they?
no, they can. It's just they think that that's how they get with someone they want to, innit?
Yeah, I remember seeing loads of theories on that, like, oh, our brains are fried because of electronics, and so we require this sort of like all sorts of different things. But like, it's still, I don't know, it's just it's such a weird idea to someone like me who's grown up in such a like, you gotta never even think about something like that kind of family.
Um, I had two different like experiences. So I spent a lot of time with my grandma, right?
Yeah.
And obviously I spent a lot of time with my mum, but they both like were like half and half while I was growing up. And my grandma obviously, was very traditional, very
Uh,
like very reserved, very like conservative in her values, and my mum is like the complete opposite.
and you're
Like,
like, you're even more of a big difference.
so wait, did you even meet? No, you haven't met my mum in it. You're gonna, but she's calm. You probably
I've,
what?
yeah, no, I heard her over the phone in Portugal.
Yeah. So
She was
you've
telling you some
noticed.
very interesting things, yeah,
Yeah.
about specific clubs. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So you noticed, it? She's quite outgoing with her like
I
views.
envy you, bro. I envy you. You know my mom. Hey, Allah.
Yeah. Ober crab. Uh,
Yeah.
and then yeah, so I got two different views, and I kind of stuck to my mum's views, and I tried convincing my grandma, and she slowly shifted as well. So yeah,
Ooh, that's interesting. I could
slowly.
never.
Yeah. Um,
So like, wait. So your grandma was like, you can never do it, and your mom was like, ah, go out there, scoundrel, scamp, wear protection.
yeah. 100%. Yeah.
That's
That's
crazy.
exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not doing that. You're not doing what she said because now you're like, oh, I'm gonna marry money. I don't care about relationships.
Yeah, because
All the
that's secondary, innit? I want to be. Do you know how hard it is to live in London? It's outrageous.
yeah.
It's crazy.
I couldn't live anywhere else though. I'm too used to this place, man. It's too good.
Exactly. And your whole family's here as well.
True.
Like, come on. The furthest you could go is probably like Scotland.
Nah, Scotland's too different, man. I can't lie.
Scotland ain't that different. Surely similar. Like, it depends what area you go to, innit?
But it's a lot. It's not like city. I mean, I guess there's Edinburgh, but like,
Yeah,
it's not
that's what I mean.
London.
Yeah, but there's a city. At least there's a city. And it's a
Yeah.
drivable distance away from London.
I'd consider Scotland. Maybe if they like ever like separated from the UK or from England or something, maybe I'd consider it. Because otherwise, right now it's still just as fucked over there as it is over here.
No, I mean
Like it's
like
the same thing.
prices in cost. Cost of living is like way better over there.
Is it? Damn.
Yeah, but that's because obviously people get paid less in
Yeah,
general
yeah,
than
yeah,
London.
true.
But when you look at properties over there, a house over here is like what? A regular size, small, like 2 bedrooms, like 600 grand, right?
It's like 9 times your income on average outside of
Yeah.
London and 12 times inside of London.
And then outside in Scotland, same property going for like 250.
Well, like, yeah, big ones as well, innit?
Yeah, and they're big, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, that's outrageous. Anyway,
Yeah.
we've
This is
sort of
far from the
shifted.
monarchy.
Yeah, we've shifted. Anyway,
What was the original point anyway? I don't remember. Oh
I
yeah,
was talking
Andrew.
about yeah, Andrew. I was talking about Andrew, and I was wondering like, I still hate Andrew. I
Yeah.
still do, and I don't want him ever to come. I don't think he ever will come back.
I don't think
Um,
anyone likes him.
but I just wanted to talk about the nature of the crime and how I genuinely. That's why I think she took the money because I don't think it affected her as much as people think it did.
Yeah, true. I guess that is a fair point. I
Mm.
feel like if it was me in that situation, I'd try and milk the hell out of that. Like I'd try and get him in bars and just purely because he's a royal and you can do that. Like that would
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
mark your name in history. Like, oh my God, this guy, he's the one who put Andrew in bars or whatever.
Yeah, put a royal behind bars in prison. That'd be like
So I
first in
would
a
have to
lifetime.
be, for this scenario to exist, I'd have to be gay, wouldn't I? Because it wouldn't work, would it? All right, maybe
Yeah,
it's not worth
well,
it. Never
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
I'll
yeah, yeah.
change my mind. I don't want this anymore.
Well, yeah, then
Anyway,
I'd probably pursue prison then if I was, yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Anyway, let's just move on to the big point because I've got like big arguments for that.
You don't want
And
to go for that Meghan Markle, all that stuff? That's another drama, isn't it? Nah, who
okay,
cares
yeah,
about that,
Meghan
right?
Markle's a good one. That's a good one
Who cares
though.
about it?
Harry
Is
and
it?
Meghan Markle. That's a good one. Yeah, of
I,
course.
it's a celebrity invading royalty, right? That's what it is. And like, it made everything worse. And then they were like, I didn't follow the situation. I don't remember anything from
Mm,
it.
mm.
Did you follow it?
Yeah, somewhat, somewhat. Not as
What?
much as other people have.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
I feel like I just remember bits and pieces. Like they wrote a book and they were like, "Oh, we want solitude," but then they kept going on like different, what's it called, interviews, and like they were like, she was like, "I'm half like what's it called? I'm half black," and so I was treated with racism, like all sorts of stuff like that. I remember.
okay, yeah. So first of all, yeah, we don't
Mm.
know how Meghan Markle was treated. Okay.
Yeah,
Um, it's very possible that she was treated the way she says she was treated, right? Especially because we know there, especially in like an institution as like archaic as the monarchy, there'd probably be some level of racism in it.
yeah, but I feel
Like,
like she's not like when she says she's half black. She's like, you wouldn't be able to tell. I feel like
no, okay,
really.
so that's what. So one of my aunties, well, not technically, okay, so one of my uncle's girlfriends, yeah,
Mhm.
she's black, right? She's Caribbean. Um, and we were talking about this, and I was telling her that like Meghan Markle just looks like a white person to me, right, with like a
Yeah,
tan.
yeah, yeah.
But she was like, no, 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 no. If you're black, you can tell when someone else has like blackness in them,
Ah, that's
right?
just waffle, bro. That's waffle.
No, that's true. I hear that because I can tell when someone's Indian or South
Yeah, because you
Asian
just
at
look at
least.
them or hear their accent and you can tell.
No, no, no. When you look at someone, you can tell when someone's South Asian or when they're Mexican. You can tell, right?
I don't know what kind of. I mean, I guess for Mexicans and South Asians, yeah, I guess because they're
Yeah,
very
but
different.
but to any white person, they'd probably look the same. Both
Yeah, but
brown,
Megan spoke like exactly like how a white person would, and she spoke. She looked like one. For all
except
intents
her
and purposes,
mum.
she was one.
Except her mum is fully black.
Yeah, but she like her like specific skin color.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. She's half
I
black
guess
then.
you could say
If her
that if
mum's
the
black.
royal family was aware,
Yeah.
they could maybe do something. I don't know.
Anyway, so aside from that, she is half black because her mum's black, right? That's
Yeah,
like she might not look it to us, but to other black people, she does, right? And I'm sure I believe them because I can tell when someone's South Asian, right?
right.
Um, uh, and also, um, when she says there's institutional racism, there probably is, and whether
I
she
could definitely
experienced
see
it,
it. Yeah.
yeah, I can imagine that. I can imagine it because it's quite an old institution. Um, what was the last thing I was going to talk about? I do think there are some things she's lied about though too.
I'd almost certainly like.
Yeah, the way
I feel like she was
she.
high on the attention.
Well, yeah, perhaps that's probably true. But there are some things that she's verifiably like said that were like just wrong in it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and you can't really refute that if there's some like document that out there that like goes directly against what you said. Um, uh, and there was another thing I was gonna say. There's something I was gonna say. Anyway, yeah. Besides all that, um, I don't think because she's American.
yeah.
I don't think she was used to how the royal family conducts itself.
Probably, yeah.
The
She
culture.
wasn't royalty.
Yeah, yeah, she's not royalty. But even then, even if you're not royalty, if you're British, you know how the royal family acts, right?
Probably like not behind closed doors though.
No, no, but you know outside. You know you're not meant to create drama.
Yeah, yeah,
You're not meant to do that. It's not like any other celebrity where it's like it makes money and I think she sort of saw it as an American institution like the Kardashians or whatever.
yeah. Probably, yeah.
And
Actually, you know what? You're right.
you create drama and that riles up attention and money and that's how it works. But it doesn't work like that in Britain. In America, that's quite well received, I'm assuming, because people like that sort of attention. In Britain, they see
Yeah.
you as being an attention whore, and
Oh, yeah,
you're
definitely.
like exactly. So that's why so many British people hate her now. I can't say I hate her because I don't know the truth, you know. Um, but yeah, I
Yeah.
that's why I think. And Harry, I can't lie to you, I don't like Harry.
Harry's a bit of a simp, I won't lie to you.
Harry is a
I
bit
feel
like,
like, yeah, I feel like he
yeah,
kind of just goes along with whatever she says.
yeah, and I feel, yeah, and the thing is, he wants his cake and wants to eat it too. He wants
Yeah, you
both.
mean with the privacy?
Yeah, like you can't, you either be a celebrity, right? But
Yeah,
you don't get to access the benefits of the royal family. So you don't get
yeah,
your royal name, you don't get your royal fund, you don't get your royal land, all that. You don't get inheritance, all that.
yeah.
Okay? But then that strips away what makes you a celebrity. So he doesn't want to do that, but he also wants to do that.
It's because he's stuck in between a rock and a hard place. I feel like he doesn't believe what Megan's saying, but he kind of has to go along with it because, it's his wife. I don't
I
know. It's
don't
it's hard.
I don't care.
Same. I haven't followed the situation. I'm just making assumptions because I don't know.
Yeah,
There's
but
one more. Oh yeah, yeah.
to me it sounds like he's crying over nothing. And you can't say you
Fair
want
enough.
privacy. You can't say you want privacy and then do a world tour about interviews and
Writing
privacy.
loads of
You want a
books.
privacy.
Yeah.
Write books about how private you want your life to be. What is that?
Go private, bro. What are you doing?
So yeah, and the amount of money they got paid for the show, the Netflix show, was
Yeah, they're set for
crazy.
life. Like it's crazy.
You know how much they got?
How much was it?
It
I
was a
don't know the
hundred.
exact.
It was 100 million.
100 million. Oh my
Yeah,
days.
for that show.
Oh,
That's
I think you know what? Megan is a mastermind. She knew what she was doing. She took Harry. She got the fuck out of there. She made all the money she
the thing
needs.
is. Harry is like so average looking as well. You know Meghan would go for someone else. You know she only went for
Yeah.
Harry because he's a prince. That's the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
reason.
Oh
Yeah,
my days. It's the way. If she finessed him, good on her, I guess.
yeah,
I've got one more small topic before we move
yeah,
to the main one. Are
yeah.
you ready?
Go ahead.
Bang! Surprise! Would you rather question? No, no, not would you rather. Will you press the button question? Ta-da! Are you ready for this?
Will I press? Okay, yeah, okay, cool.
You remember how that works? I give you
Yeah,
a
yeah,
prompt. For the
yeah, yeah.
audience, I give a basically a good thing. If you press it, you get this, but there's always a catch. There's always a bad side.
Right,
And
right.
this
Yeah,
time
yeah.
it's, would you like to be part of the royal family and you basically get unlimited money and fame? However, your privacy is completely stripped from you. You're not allowed to give opinions on anything anymore, which you love debating, so you can't do that. And anything you do is seen by millions of people. Is it worth pushing that button, in your opinion?
And you mean everything I do?
As in to the extent of the royal families level.
So every time I go out,
Yeah, basically.
uh,
And like you can't make any controversial opinions, obviously not.
what position do I hold? Am I like going to be the king?
We'll put you as a prince for now. You're heir to the throne, but like well, we know these guys live for ages, so like you got a long time
Right,
ahead of you.
right, okay. Um, yeah, I'll take that.
You take it.
Yeah, yeah.
You get rid of all of your debating prowess and all that,
No,
and
it's
you'd lose your privacy, and
it's
you'd be
it's
housed with these people, by the way.
it's dangerous to share your opinion anyway in this
True,
climate,
but
in this political climate. You'll get like you'll get ended.
the worst that
Yeah.
could happen to you is you get like cancelled, maybe. But with
No,
royal family, it's
no.
like
If you yeah, but cancelled from what though? Cancelled from employment?
nah, unless you're making like
Yeah,
some
bro.
rabid takes. Like if you're making
You
like,
don't know.
oh,
You don't
Hitler was
know.
right.
You don't know how crazy employment is. You don't the sort of employment I want to go for, the high-end jobs in banks and stuff. If you
Oh,
said if you said something as small as trans women aren't women, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a statement, okay, for any future employers,
disclaimer, he's not making that point.
right?
I think you've already
If
made
you
that
s-
point in a previous episode.
if you said something like that, that's a crazy claim. You
Oh
ain't got
shit.
rejected. You get rejected.
Bro, we need to start putting like a disclaimer like this is for educational purposes only. Do
It
not
doesn't
take it
matter.
seriously or
Doesn't
something.
matter. Doesn't matter. Unis are for educational places, but like there are like rallies against discussions about it. It's fascism.
Yeah. It's fucking crazy, bro.
That's why. So there's no point anyway. I might as well just become like rich and chill in a palace.
Fair enough, I guess. And like the privacy ain't that big of a deal to you?
Yeah. Whenever I go out, what they're gonna take pictures of me. What am I doing out anyway? Eating.
I don't know.
Right.
You can't go Lisbon anymore with your boys. You can't
Yeah, I
go.
can. Yeah, I can. I've got a
Nah, but you'd be
private jet.
surrounded by people at all times. But I ain't going with you.
So what? So what? Just come with me, and then we'll be in like a private jet. We'll get all the money we want. We're in a private car all day. We never have to pay for anything. When we go to the hotel, there'll be security guards outside our doors. We have the best service on in the whole
Man,
world.
I forgot you're Ebenezer Scrooge and you only care about money. I forgot.
Right?
Shouldn't have made it.
You know you'd go with me. Don't lie to me.
I'd go
You
with you.
know.
I would never become a royal. I would never
Yeah, but
become
you'll
a
go
royal.
with me. So don't lie. You'll go with me. Exactly.
Sure, I'd take. Would I get unlimited chips ahoy?
Yeah, you can buy as many as you want.
All right, cool. I'm sold. I'll do it. Will
Yeah,
our
so
private jet have a key or will it have a tap card? Because we know the keys don't work, bro.
whichever,
Oh,
man,
there's too
whichever
many
you
good
want.
memes. There's too
Yeah.
many memes. Oh man. All right, fine. All right, let's get into the main
Hey,
topic.
remember prosciutto. Prosciutto.
Oh yeah, prosciutto. Oh man.
Oh, man. Alright, okay, cool. Main topic at hand, yeah? Main topic.
Right. The main argument or the main debate, I guess, is should the monarchy be abolished? And
Okay.
there's loads of little mini things inside this main topic.
Yeah.
So we can go from the outside and work our way in if you want.
Right. Okay, so you tell me, because you've planned it like this. Go ahead.
Yes.
You tell
So
me
the
what you want.
outside layer, the first little bit of this is I want to talk about the protests that occurred, right? So one
Against
of
the
the
king.
things against the king, yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
one of the things that we've seen recently is this group called Just Stop Oil. And they do these protests peacefully where they completely destroy like people who's trying to get to work, they completely block the roads, they destroy like snooker games or they'll invade pitches, all this stuff, right? And nothing happens to them. However, when people peacefully protest the king, they were basically like stopped by the police, and so there's a bit of a hypocrisy there as to our rights to peacefully protest. Why I'm not making the argument for people who like throw eggs and stuff. Like, okay, yeah, I get that. But for people just holding up signs, at one point there was a protester who held up a blank sign but still got arrested because they were afraid that she would put something on the sign. So the first layer of this entire like onion is the hypocrisy when it comes to the protests. So what do you think about that? Do you think that they were in the right to arrest these people, or do you think that this is wrong? What does this
Okay.
have to say about the monarchy?
Okay, so first of all, Just Stop Oil Um,
Yeah.
they're financed by oil conglomerates.
True.
So so I think it's a big conspiracy to make it seem like anyone who doesn't want oil anymore is crazy.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so just
I
like
think that too.
with like PETA as well to make vegans look crazy. It's all the meat industries and the oil industries. Um, Secondly, people have a misconception about the job that the police plays in the United Kingdom. Okay?
Yeah.
Um, we seem to conflate US laws with UK laws. Okay? We're not
Okay.
like we're not like the US. The way free speech works in the UK is not like the US.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
And that's what I think a lot of people get confused about. The police's job is not to protect your right to free speech. The police's job is to keep
Peace.
is to keep peace and protect the will of the king. Okay,
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
that is the police's job, right? To keep peace and to enact the king's will. That is that. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds like
Yeah,
middle
yeah,
age.
yeah.
Sounds like Middle Ages sort of talk. But that is what the police do legally. That is their job. So
Right.
when when someone technically does that and it's breaking the peace, especially surrounding the king, legally, yes, they're probably within their rights to arrest them. And to us in this day and age, it sounds archaic, right? Because
Mm.
it's infringing on our right to free speech, which I wholeheartedly believe. I believe you should be allowed to say what you want to say, as long as it doesn't target a specific group of people or a specific person, something like
Yeah.
that. Um, so yeah, technically, legally, they were in their rights to do that.
I feel like there's a
Politically,
difference between legals and morals, right?
yeah. So politically, ethically,
Yeah.
no, innit? Wrong.
It is wrong. It is wrong. Well,
Yeah.
what happened happened, right? At least they don't come after like people online and stuff like that, right?
Well, we don't know what they do to people online, innit? Anyway, what
True,
do you
I guess.
think? You give your take. What do you think?
I think it was wrong. I mean, originally, like when it comes to people who like throw eggs, or like if the king's walking down the street and people are like shouting at him, that's fine, right? You can arrest them because they're just kind of being knobs, right? If there's people who are there to enjoy the coronation, let them. You don't need to start screaming about, oh, the king's. I don't want the king. We'll get rid of the monarchy. Just let
Mm,
them enjoy their peace, right? But
mm,
when it comes to like protests on the side where people are just holding up signs and just making their distaste of the king known, I feel like it's a very dangerous. It's basically like saying, okay, you can protest, you are allowed to, but only if we say so. And if there's a specific topic we don't like, you're gone, bang, done. That's what it kind of
mm.
feels like. Even if it's legally correct, I feel like you could modify, you can mold legally in any way you want.
Yeah.
It's in the what's it called? Interests of the king, right? Okay, well, I don't like this specific other topic that they're protesting. Oh, well, the king doesn't like it either. All right, let's get rid of it. Done.
Mm.
I feel like it's a bit abusable.
Yeah, and that's what I think is that's what fascism is, isn't it? You know
Yeah,
when we think of like Nazi Germany and we think like how people were policed by their skin color and by their ethnicity and their religion and all that, and people forced to think in a specific way. And then
yeah.
we broke out of that finally, and it was a win for free speech and your ability to express yourself. And now we're slowly descending backwards again.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, where people are like forced to uphold a certain view, and you're not allowed to share other views. Uh,
I feel like, yeah, fascism has always existed sort of in the background, and I feel like they've
mm,
started. The modern version of fascism is in the media. I feel like that's where
very
it
much.
is, especially in like movies and stuff. Like everything's very left leaning. They're trying to code like certain things in things like that.
It's almost sickly. Like
Sickly,
you
yeah,
don't you don't need to like for instance an example would be like in movies when there's a gay character,
yeah.
they've made their whole personality about them being gay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
And there's
or
what
like,
bro, there's more to being a person than just being gay, you know?
or like they'll invent a really bad, strong female character instead of just making a character who's strong that happens to be female. They'll put the
Yeah.
entire thing around that.
And they'll
And
show that by them emasculating a man. like
Yeah, yeah,
consistently.
yeah. Give all the
Yeah,
things that we don't like to the woman and somehow be surprised when it doesn't work.
yeah, exactly. And
There's
that's
a bit
not
of a
just,
yeah,
yeah. There are plenty of strong female role models in movie, like Ellen Ripley from Alien,
yeah,
like
or Sarah Connor,
yeah, Sarah Connor from Terminator. Exactly.
Terminator, yeah.
These are strong women, but they're not trying to be like men.
Yeah, they work in like they work shoulder to shoulder with them, right? That's like the
Exactly.
whole thing. Bit of a
Exactly.
side note, right? But this is a bit of a sinister, a bit of like sort of like the brainwashing thing I was talking about. You know the Barbie film?
Yeah.
The Barbie film is extremely feminist, right? Like there's, I believe in the final half of it, it's very like they say the word patriarchy like a million times, right? And then I try and destroy it, dismantle it, whatever.
Mm.
But that's not my problem with it. The problem with it is in the trailers, they painted a completely different picture of what it would be. And so I just like you take your kids, right? You take your kids to watch Barbie, thinking it's just a child friendly, this, that, the other. And then you're bombarded with all these feminist takes. All of this, that, the other. I feel like that's such a sinister thing to do. Especially since if you
Yeah.
tried it in any other way, like it would be like what's it called? It would be like shunned. But for some reason this was just accepted.
Well, yeah, isn't it? You
Yeah, just that was a
you put
side note I
me.
want to bring up.
That's just the difficulty of politics, isn't it?
Yeah. We can't make shows
Uh,
without politics anymore. It doesn't happen anymore.
it's
The
difficult.
sad thing.
Well, sometimes they do. Sometimes they make a movie, and it's just brilliant fun, and there was no message to be learned. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like Bullet Train a few years ago came out, and it was
Or
so brilliant. It was like a Quentin Tarantino movie. It was just brilliant.
you watch like every film, don't you?
I watch most films that come out. Yeah, yeah.
How do you find the time for that, man? I don't know how you do it.
Because you gotta enjoy life too.
Ugh.
Yeah. Let's move on. Let's move on.
Yeah, so that's the protest point.
Hmm.
The next point within it was we've already talked about the Queen's death, so we won't touch that anymore. But
Right.
like, so this is about do we need the monarchy? This is the next part in it.
Okay.
So for me, this goes two ways, right? Or do you want to go first, or should I go first?
You go first. You go first.
All right, okay. I mean, you did go first the first time, so it makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
So there's two ways you could see it. The first way is I'm going to repeat what I said in the game show episode because I still do believe it. I believe the monarchy is what makes Britain Britain. Like it's in our anthem, God Save the King, God Save the Queen. It's Royal Mail, it's in our notes, it's in our currency. Everywhere you look, you see the royal family as one of the big landmarks in our culture. And I feel like culture is a very important thing to have.
Right.
And I feel like, especially when you look at like the statistics of obviously there's a lot of people in the UK, so like naturally everyone has to pitch in only a small amount. And the fact that it's only £1.37, well, £1.29 a year for the
Mm.
average person in the UK for funding the sovereign grant. It doesn't feel like it's that big of a deal to have royalty, especially the when you consider the tourism effects of it, when you
Mm.
consider like all of these little details, the fact that it's part of the culture, I feel like in general, while there is a more efficient way to do things, I feel like the monarchy is important for the culture in a way, right?
Right.
And then after that, after the episode was recorded, the coronation happened, right? And
Mm.
that's where my opinion changed because I saw the part of what was it King Prince Charles? Wait, what's his name, bro? Like,
Uh, King Charles. Now
King Charles, yeah, King Charles. I've already forgotten, bro. King Charles basically spent what was it? How much was it on the carriage?
I've forgotten. I don't
I think it
remember
was
numbers
something
like that.
cost. It was 2 million, 2.5 million.
Mm.
And I remember he was saying, oh, basically, when I looked at the cost of living crisis, when I looked at the fact that people were basically starving, right? People couldn't afford heating in their homes. And I saw that he was like, okay, in the current cost of living crisis, we will reduce it. And instead of spending whatever, like 5 million, we're going to spend 2.5 instead. And I saw how much of a song and dance it was. I was like, okay, yeah, there is something a bit mad here. There is definitely a massive disconnect here between the royal family and what people have to go through on a daily basis. In the current economy we have, even this little bit of money, can we really afford to spare it for something like this? And so my
Okay,
opinions changed to they are important for the culture, but overall they should be abolished
because of that.
because of the monetary value, essentially, and the disconnect, and the fact that they aren't really necessary, realistically.
Okay, so let's address all those.
Go on,
Um, so
dismantle me.
the monetary thing. So overall, it costs about £1.29 per person in the UK to fund the royal family. That's about 100 million a year. That's how
Yeah,
much they
but
get.
take that with a grain of salt because I was seeing it's a low amount because I was seeing other numbers too.
Right, yeah. I've checked online. It's about 100 million they get a year.
Yeah,
Um, uh, so that's quite a bit of money. But how much do they bring in for tourism?
I don't think there's a strict number for that.
So I googled that, and the number that keeps reappearing is 1.76 billion a year.
That's cap, bro. That's cap.
That's what keeps. I know that's crazy, but that's what keeps coming up. That number from tourism
Mm.
is 1.76 billion. That's what I've so far seen. How much
Could
money
you
does the
imagine
royal
how much
family
we'd
bring into
make
the
if we
country?
could you imagine how much
Uh,
money we'd
so
make if we opened up Buckingham Palace for the public to see? That would be
so
sick.
according to the Metro, their
Yeah,
brand has helped boost the economy by 1.76 billion. Um,
that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
right. So there we go. That's quite a bit of money that they've made back, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
So I think that sorts out the monetary bit. They cost money, but they also bring in money, and they make the economy bigger, and that pays more for people, and that makes
Okay.
jobs. Okay. The second point was the disconnect. Was it?
Yes, I'm forgetting
Okay.
my own points. I think so. Yeah.
All right. So disconnect. Obviously, that comes from them being super rich, right? And
Right.
being taught in like really posh private schools and all that. Um, but they're not like other rich people where they're like private citizens, right?
Right.
The royal family, obviously, we know have a certain standard to uphold, and they have a certain image that they have to uphold because they represent Britain, right?
Right.
Um, and that is expressed also by the fact that they meet the prime minister every week, right? The king
Mm.
meets the prime minister every single week because he basically has to question the prime minister's decisions and why they've done it. Because his interests, we should agree or disagree on this first. The king's interest is the people. Do we agree?
The king's interested. I mean, to be fair, I don't think it matters either way, really.
Yeah, but for him, if his pledge at the coronation was, "I shall serve, not to be served, but to serve," right? That's what he said.
Right.
Um, that means that he is serving the British people. He's a civil servant, technically, the king, right?
Does he really mean it though?
That's the. Well, what I'm saying is, do you think that he has any other allegiances but to the British people?
No, I don't think so. Just to himself, really. That's it.
Right, to himself and to his institution, but that is upheld by the British people. Therefore, vicariously, his loyalties to the British people,
Right.
right? Because if he doesn't, and the British people basically revolted, then the monarchy's gone.
Yeah.
So, so
True.
he has to be there for the British people. He has to be watching out for them. So when he's scrutinizing the prime minister, he's doing that from the perspective of the British people, and he represents the British people, and that's important in my eyes because can you imagine a Tory government with complete power?
That would be pretty bad.
Can you imagine that? That's
Yeah.
crazy, isn't it? And we've seen an example of this. We've seen what would happen if the Tory government had complete power, right? So right now, according to the law, which the king doesn't have to follow, he's exempt from the law. Um, which is a bit crazy, I know, but that's the way it is, isn't it? Uh,
Yeah.
right now, the king is the only one that can sanction nuclear weapons to be
Is
used.
it?
Yeah, he's the only one, the only individual. No other MP, prime minister, no general can say it. They have to go directly to the king and ask, if they can use nuclear weapons or even declare war.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's a bit of a like all of these points are interesting, but I feel like they don't really matter too much though.
No, no, I'm coming to it. I'm coming to it. Um, so in that's why actually why sometimes Royal Mail like vans, you know, the red vans, they're allowed to
Yeah.
run red lights. They're allowed to run red lights sometimes if they're directly what's it called? If they're directly delivering to the king for something urgent.
Yeah.
Um, so so the king has to do, and what's interesting about that is that when the queen was in charge, when we went to Iraq, the war right in Iraq, um,
Yeah.
one of the benefits that the royal family has that they can dissolve parliament when they want, right?
Right.
They're allowed to like basically shut down any conversation going in parliament. And one of the conversations that was happening in parliament at that time was that whether the government can actually make decisions regarding nuclear weapons without the Queen's approval.
Yeah.
Right. And then the Queen obviously shut that down straight away. She said that's not going to happen. If you want to use
Fair
nuclear
enough, yeah.
weapons, if you want to use nuclear weapons, you have to consult me first. Right? I would
Right.
rather I'd rather the Queen or the King be making decisions regarding nuclear weapons than the Tory government.
I feel like
Would
if it
you?
was on the in the hands of the government, it would be a vote though, wouldn't it?
Huh? It'd be a what?
A vote to vote.
No, no, no. No, it'd be the
It would just
ruling
be the
party.
MP.
It'd be the ruling party at the time, so the Prime Minister and his cabinet.
Yeah, but I feel like could you imagine like because the king is just there, he has no qualifications. He's just there because of his vote and
No,
like his hereditary value.
but his allegiances are to the British people. That's it. That's his main allegiance.
He
The
can have
Tory
great
government,
intentions, but it doesn't mean
no,
he'll make good decisions though.
and you think the Tory government does?
Neither of them do. I feel like that's by abolishing the
So,
monarchy. Wait,
so
what?
which lesser evil would you rather take? Would you rather take a Tory government that is very smart and has clear allegiances outside of the British people, right? Has destroyed our economy over the past 20 years,
These aren't. You
right?
don't need one or the other. You can have like if the government if the what's it called the rules were abolished, it doesn't naturally automatically mean that it would go to the Tories.
Yes, it would. Who has ultimate power then?
But I feel like because we don't know yet because we haven't decided that yet.
Yes, we do. You'd need some sort of figurehead, and in the case that that the monarchy was disposed, then the prime minister would become president, and he has complete control now.
That just gets what the hell? I don't know. That's hard.
He's second in charge, isn't he?
Yeah, but I feel like the British public wouldn't stand for that. I
Oh,
guess
oh,
we're just we're
really,
just we're just what's it
really.
called?
The British people wouldn't stand for. I wonder why, because we don't want someone with that sort of, with that sort of
Yeah,
allegiances in complete power.
yeah. So we wouldn't allow that to happen, would we? I guess we
So
don't really have that control.
what would you do? What would you do?
I feel like you could set up a society with like a voting system or something like that. But this is all like grasping at straws because it's just what ifs, isn't it?
Exactly.
This is all what ifs. But we'll go with your
So,
point because I can't say,
so,
oh, we might.
so, so I'd rather the king have have ultimate power, especially regarding life-changing decision like that,
Okay,
than the ruling party, because the ruling party always has some sort of agenda, always does, right?
right.
The third point. What was your third point?
I believe that might have been it actually.
Oh well,
So I
there you
talked
go.
about I talked about the disconnect. I talked
Oh,
about the finances.
and the
Yeah.
coronation, right?
Yeah, the coronation was part of the disconnect. Yeah.
How
Well,
often?
actually,
How
what?
often do monarchs get coronated?
I feel like Charles quite close to kicking the bucket as well.
Yeah, but when's the last time I had a coronation?
What was it? 70 years ago?
Yeah, that's a bit crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, fair enough.
So I think a one-time event to celebrate you becoming that, I think is okay. Especially when you already get a sovereign grant. It's your money.
Yeah, I guess it's your money. All right. Well, to address the financial thing again, by the way, how much did you say they make? Or was it 100 million? Right?
I think so. That's how much they cost.
I feel like if you put that money towards what's it called? Public services, and
But
you
yeah.
opened up these sort of like Buckingham Palace as landmark sites and these
Mhm,
cultural attractions
mm,
without the royal family being present. I feel
mm.
like that does have its potential to benefit the economy as well. So like I
Okay,
don't
so
feel like it's like a, oh yeah, we need them for the economy to thrive or anything.
okay, that's a good argument. That's a good argument. I have apprehensions though,
Yeah.
because I'm not sure if people would visit just for the architecture.
Oh, they definitely would.
Yeah,
Almost
yeah.
certainly.
I'm not sure if that architecture is old enough to warrant that sort of tourism though.
I don't think it's about architecture. I think it's about what, like, who was in those halls, who was in that area, things like that.
Yeah, the history. Yeah, okay,
The
I accept
history.
that. But I think what's alluring about it is the fact that that history is still continuing.
You think so?
Yeah, that's why a lot of people come. I think because it's still a monarchy, there's still a king. Ooh, that's quite alluring, especially to Americans.
Yeah, but I don't know, because it's like even in this current state, like everything's very closed off still. They're basically just people that you can like, because like when you really did delve deep into it, there's not really much to see. Like the king will wave, he will make a speech on Christmas, things like that. There's not
And
really that
people
much.
and people eat that up.
Yeah, but it's like I feel like if they eat that up, surely they'd eat up an open like way more to see sort of system more than something like that. I feel like you could upcharge that so much more. You could have so much more money going in.
Okay, then.
You can have,
So in that event,
yeah.
who's in power then?
Oh, we're gonna go back to the power.
No, but that's what I'm asking. In that event, yeah, that's a good argument. But let's say we're opening up. Who's opening it up?
Okay, so this is the point where we started going into what ifs, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the whole thing is a what if, isn't it?
Yeah, true. Uh, I feel like what about having like a republic system?
What, like senators and all that?
Yeah, sort of. But I feel like that's like
You don't think that would
it
get
works for
corrupt?
America, kind of. Huh?
I think that's corrupt. No, it doesn't.
Bro, our
No,
current
it
system's
doesn't.
corrupt as well, isn't it? We got
Yeah,
South the Post going on, all that. Like, it doesn't work.
exactly. Government is corrupt wherever you go.
Yeah, so either way would be corrupt. At least let's benefit the economy a little while we're at it.
Yes. So we need to have someone whose allegiance is to the British people solely.
How do you know the king wouldn't be corrupt? How do you know the king wouldn't be like, okay, cool, I don't
Because
have much time on stuff.
the king already has complete power, but his complete power comes from the fact that British people are willing to let the monarchy exist.
Yeah, you could say the same thing about politicians as well.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But they don't have complete power.
Yeah, even if like with the king, right? Even he doesn't have complete power. When you say complete power, you're like he doesn't have the ability to do whatever he wants.
He
He's
does, yeah,
he's
he does.
he's forsaken these rights,
No, no, no. Legally, he does though.
like to just do whatever for
Yeah,
like wage
legally.
war with anyone he wants, or
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
that, the
yeah,
other.
yeah, 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 yeah. Legally, he
Are
can.
you sure you want to give that much terrifying power? Like, how do you know you wouldn't just cause ridiculous amounts of damage before the people can really
And
do anything?
cause has he?
Wait, what?
Has the Queen has he? Has he done that? Has the Queen ever done it?
I'm saying, what if you get a corrupt king after later down the line? Because you're saying, what
I
if
don't,
the government gets corrupt, right? Or like, what if they're
then
in
then
complete power and then they, yeah,
then we have a revolt.
yeah. So couldn't we do that with the like parliament as well?
Yeah, we could, but then we replace Parliament with who?
No, no, as in like if we replace the king with a
A
like
better
what's
king,
it called? Wait, what?
a better king or a queen.
Maybe not better king, but more like a republic system.
But
Because you were
okay.
saying, oh well, what if we don't want to give all this power to them? It'd be the same thing, except now we have a bit more money now.
No, because I want someone who's quite level-headed and doesn't have any other allegiances.
Yeah. So what if we get a king that isn't level-headed? What if well, I don't know who's next, William or
Exactly.
something?
Then we revolt and we depose that king and replace it with a better king.
Okay, so why can't if we replace the king with like a politician who's insane, right? Why can't we revolt and replace the politician and get a politician that's more like in line with the people?
Yeah,
Why
that's
can't we do
good.
that?
That's true. But the politician belongs to a party that has certain ideologies.
Yeah, well, I'm sure the king has his own ideologies as well.
Of course he does, but he's not allowed to share them politically, and he doesn't act on them.
He could definitely, but he could act on them. That's the thing. He
He
could,
could,
just
but
like
he
a
doesn't.
politician could act on it as well, or
And the
not act on it.
politicians do. That's the problem. They do.
Yeah, but if a
Why do you
politician
think?
was put in a king's position, I feel like the rules would change.
No, because if a politician is put in the king's position, that politician is solely the one in charge. That's it. What you need to understand here, what I believe anyway, is that
Yeah,
most politicians are skin deep in what they say. Okay?
true, true.
They don't really believe what they're saying. They're just saying it because they belong to that party. Keir
Yeah,
Starmer doesn't really believe trans women are women. He doesn't really believe that, but he has to say that because he's part of the left-leaning Labour Party, right?
yeah,
And Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss don't really believe that money trickles down into the economy. They don't really believe
yeah,
that. They just want to protect their rich friends. Okay?
yeah.
But if you have one person from that party who no longer belongs to the party and is now king,
Uh-huh.
then it's a different story. Then it's a different
As a,
story.
so, what about the ideas of electing a king then? But we
Like a
don't give
president.
the
Like a
yeah,
president.
sort of like that. Yeah,
Yeah, that could work. I don't mind that. But then you still
like
need to finance the president.
yeah, but I don't think you need a whole family anymore. That's the thing. You would only need one man. You wouldn't need a family or a war woman, I guess. You wouldn't need a whole family. You wouldn't need because there's no heir anymore. There's no such thing as a biological thing. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah. Yeah,
one
that's fair.
person, and like there's way less spending there.
Okay, yeah, but they have a limited term and they still belong to a party, a president.
Yeah, I guess either way, there's corruption. You can't escape from it because there's always,
Yeah,
no matter what we do, there's always what if scenarios, isn't there?
exactly. So you're
What
trying to
if the
find
king's
the
corrupt? What if the politicians are corrupt? What if this?
you're, yeah, exactly, but
Yeah,
you're trying to find the path of the least evil, right?
right.
And I think that the king, generally speaking, because he doesn't belong to a party, he doesn't have to, what's it called, suck up to other MPs and protect his rich friends. He probably does protect his rich friends. Probably does. Maybe he does. Right?
Probably, yeah.
But at least they're probably not in politics. You know?
Right.
So,
Potentially.
so I don't think he has an agenda outside the British people, whereas political parties do. They always do.
But do you think he's capable of making an impartial decision that's made with proper, intelligence and merit and everything in mind?
Well,
Purely
supposedly,
based on the fact that his qualifications that he was born lucky.
well, supposedly, every heir to the throne is given that sort of education, isn't it?
Yeah, you can be educated but not believe what you're being taught though. And also your
Yeah, but
education can be very like, what if he's taught very left-leaning things, or what if he's taught very right-leaning things?
there's a
And
different
like,
pressure. I think from that age because you have a responsibility. Everyone knows. Everyone's basically the whole country is
yeah.
relying on you to be responsible, and I think that shapes a different kind of person.
Yeah, but the decisions you make, obviously you can see that with politicians. Everyone's relying on the MP to be responsible as well, and then you had Liz
No,
Truss come in and fuck everything up. It
no,
doesn't make a difference.
politics is messy though.
Yeah, but it's
So
still
messy.
it's the same thing about reliance and everything.
There's always a power grab in politics, and there's always an agenda. I don't think there is that with the royal family. There isn't much of that, at least.
Ah, man, that's like closed doors, isn't it? We don't know. We
That's the
simply
problem.
can't know.
That's what I'm saying. I'd rather have. You're basically asking me, would you rather? What I'm imagining is you're out of the frying pan, you're into the fire.
So you're saying we take the what's it called? Safe current over the potential bad future, like or
Yeah,
alternative solution. Is what
yeah,
you're
because
thinking.
I don't want a political party to have power like that, to have complete power of
I
control.
wouldn't want that either, to be fair. Yeah.
I would rather the prime minister ask permission from the current.
But I feel
Because
like you're overdoing how much of a dystopian future this probably would be.
it wouldn't be as dystopian making it, because the corruption is always quiet.
Yeah.
It keeps quiet, and there'd still certainly be more corruption. But we wouldn't see it as well. But I don't want more corruption. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta think about America, for example, and how they've got their system set up. They've got like what we're debating as a reality for them, but they still
Exactly.
have back doors in mind. Like they have, you can impeach a president, you can do these things. You can like a president once their term is over is liable to be arrested, like we can see with Trump right now. Like,
And that creates politics,
yeah, obviously,
doesn't it? Doesn't it? Exactly. There's always a power grab, and that power grab is taken up by two major parties, Republicans and Democrats. So they each have their own allegiances. They each have their own economic ideologies,
yeah.
but except they've got complete power.
Well, it seems to work for America,
I don't
in a
think
way,
so. I think the one country that has
as
even
best
worse.
as it can.
Well, think about how many conspiracies are surrounding the. You know how corrupt the American government is, man. Come on.
Honestly, I genuinely believe the president doesn't have that much power either, really.
Yeah, yeah, he probably doesn't. Probably doesn't. You're right.
So yeah, I mean, in the assumption that he does for the sake of the debate, right? It does kind of work. Obviously, no one's going to be happy. Like,
When
there's
you
always different sides, but
when you go to India,
yeah.
the prime minister Narendra Modi, yeah,
Mm.
before he became prime minister, man, I've got a cough. Before he became
What
prime
was it?
minister, I've got a cough.
All right.
Before he became prime minister, do you know what he was?
What was he?
He was a chaiwala,
What's that?
someone who serves tea,
Oh shit!
vendor, a vendor. This man is the most powerful man in all of India, but he hasn't got qualifications like you described. He used to serve tea to travelers.
God
Okay,
damn.
exactly.
Yeah.
And he is not very intelligent at all. He is really stupid. When you listen to him, the guy is stupid,
I
right?
can imagine. Yeah.
So it's not him that's pulling the strings. He's just the figurehead, the face.
Mm.
There are like so
Definitely.
many MPs and people around him that influence him and tell him to do things and get certain politics in the way. That's the problem I foresee with
That's why you
someone
gotta have
having.
back doors in mind.
Exactly, yeah, yeah. The back door is always that the people can revolt.
Yeah.
There's always revolution. The French did it, we can do it.
I don't know if we could
Uh,
revolt anymore. I don't know if people would be up for it these days. We
well,
don't
I
have the
don't.
same bravery of the French.
No, we don't. But I don't think the British military, even though their allegiance is to the king, if they saw that the king is obviously being corrupt,
Yeah.
they would obviously sort him out in their own way.
Definitely, definitely. I feel I can
They
definitely
would.
see that.
Yeah. So like, there you go, man. I'd rather have a king than someone with a political ideology and complete power.
Fair enough. There's one final point. I don't know. I don't believe this personally. It's just a point I've seen against the king. But I want to see if you believe it, because normally we do disagree on this. So if I don't believe it, I feel like you may believe it.
Right.
And that's the idea that by abolishing the monarchy, we could basically like push them forward, because push like the UK's like, what's it called? History forward, because the monarchy is like the past acts in history have been very like, what's the word? Not very
Mm,
great, right?
yeah.
And so like when you take their history into account and the things that they've done, you could say that by abolishing them, it could be seen as a new step for the British public and the British history. Now, I don't believe this,
Yeah.
but
You
do you
don't care
believe it?
about that.
I care about history, but I don't think we should make decisions based on the past. We should make
I
them
think
based on now.
I think you have to consider the past when making decisions, but we disagree on that. Um,
Yeah, that's racism. We'll go on that racism.
um, I understand that point about. Wait, let me get a cup of water, man. 'Cause I'm struggling right now.
Yeah, you need a lozenge, bro. Get a lozenge.
Yeah.
While Sauna goes to do that, people. Actually, I don't know what to say to fill the silence. Oh shit! I should have thought of something. I play harmonica now, That's instead of salads music. You can hear that. I'm not doing very well. So wanna come back quick? I'm running out of things to say. I might have to start playing if he doesn't hurry. Hold up. I've got it with me. I've got it with me. Hold up. He doesn't like my
All right,
playing it. Oh
all
shit! I
right.
was gonna play harmonica if you didn't come quicker.
No, all right. I'm glad I saved the audience then.
All
All
right.
right, so that's a fair point because I'm big on history. Yeah, you know that about me.
Yeah. We're almost done, by the way. You don't have to survive for much longer.
I think yes, I hear that point, but I think ultimately it'd still be detrimental.
I agree with you. There's not much to debate there. I just
Yeah,
wanted to hear your
because
opinion.
but I do agree that the royal family does represent obviously colonial history too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it represents everything. It represents slavery, represents colonialism, represents elitism. There's the
But
elitism argument that you didn't bring up, by the way.
I
But
feel like that's part of the what's it called? Disconnect, isn't it?
yeah, you're right. So yeah, that's the problem. That's the problems. But there are valid problems, but I don't think they outweigh the possibilities of having a political party in power that I
I
just
feel
don't
like
like.
yeah, I feel like the monarchy also represents like the change into like power for the people, like how they sort of willingly gave up certain rights and willingly started paying tax, by the way, like things like that.
We don't know if King Charles does that. I know the Queen did that. I'm not sure about the King.
I'm pretty sure he swore it, didn't he? Like he in the not the coronation, but the one that happened before it when he's declared king. I'm pretty sure he was
Oh,
like one of the things was in accordance with the late queen's thing or whatever. You do declare to like pay taxes or something.
yeah, but he didn't get any inheritance tax.
Yeah, naturally, of course he wouldn't.
Yeah, well, that was a lot of money. So,
Ooh, that's
um,
an unfair point.
yeah, but that's just, I think, yeah. So
That's
wait,
good.
do we agree to disagree or what?
We it's kind of a sticky situation because so let's take it one at a time. Finances, right?
Mm.
Do you still think that we're with my point about we could put them into what's it called? Like just exclusively finance. If we like opened up the public or whatever and we put that into public services, do you think that's fair enough for you to say that financially it's worth it?
Financially, it would definitely work, I think. I'm not sure if it's worth getting rid of the monarchy for it, because I don't think there'd be much of a difference in the finances. I don't think
Right,
so,
okay.
personally.
So
Either way,
everything basically lines on social like power, right?
yeah, I think so. The
That's our
politics
main
surrounding it.
sticking point. I definitely hear
Yeah,
what you're saying,
mm.
and I do
Because
agree with a lot of it.
yeah, it's a
But I
difficult
get at the
one.
end of the day, it's just what ifs, isn't it? There's no way to really say.
Yeah, of course, yeah. That's a but if you could, you were given the button, you could abolish the monarchy right now. Would you do it?
Oh man, it's hard because like my main sticking point was finance and disjointedness, but I feel like you've basically explained the finance bit pretty well. Even though there's a possibility we would earn a lot more if we got rid of the monarchy, I feel like because it's so uncertain, I wouldn't push it. Purely because of how uncertain it is.
The uncertainty. Oh, so from
Uncertainty.
out of the frying pan into the fire.
Yeah, sort of like we have our current system, which isn't very good, but it is working, versus we get rid of it, but then we're kind of in like we're plunged into this like vast unknown where it could go really, really well, but it could go really, really poorly. And like this is like, and
Alright,
if I
so
knew there was a guaranteed like yeah, it's gonna work, fine. But we don't know that, so it's not worth it.
would you trust me with nuclear weapons?
I feel like you do it, but I feel like you would never use them ever.
Yeah, but would you trust me with them? That's what I'm asking you.
Well, like as in like if like as I know you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I got you. I'll vote for
Why?
you.
I was about to make a good argument there, but okay,
Go
fine.
on.
You trust me
What
with
were you gonna say?
nuclear
Oh
weapons.
no, I don't trust you with arms. I don't trust you with nukes.
Yeah, I'm about to say, but you trust the prime minister, like.
Oh shit.
uh,
Oh, I feel like we have enough sense to not use them.
that's what I'm hoping the king does, and generally, I think the queen did. You know.
Like, you know what? We'll probably find out pretty soon because like the war is getting pretty bad right now.
in Ukraine.
US versus Russia, like the whole Africa, like there's a whole coup going on right now.
Oh yeah, that was elite. That
Poland
day.
was shooting like Russian missiles or some shit. I remember seeing that.
We're all gonna die. You know, this times like this that make me want a god. Sometimes,
But what if
sometimes.
this is God's will? Like he's like, all right, let's send these not into World War Three now.
No, but what I mean is like God is like the ultimate equalizer, isn't it?
Ah, I see. Yeah, yeah,
Everyone is suddenly like no one has any power anymore. Your money won't take you anywhere anymore. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah. But if
Um,
you, no, I mean like there is not really equal because like what if you were born into the correct religion? That's not very fair. Not very equal.
no, no. Well, I don't believe in correct religion, wrong religion, all that. I don't believe.
If
If
there
there
if
is
there
a
was a
God,
God that was like no religion, just existed to maintain order, that would be kind of sick.
well, if there is a God, I don't believe it's the way we describe it. But we
Yeah,
think
I
of God.
feel that.
I don't think like I like the idea of God in Sikhism. That's my favorite idea of God
Yeah,
because there is God isn't very egotistical. He doesn't demand that you worship him. Do you know what I mean? That's
yeah.
not his
That's
demand. So I like that idea, right?
someone like God wouldn't need our prayer anyway. Like it
Yeah,
wouldn't really. Right.
that's the argument. That's the argument in Sikhism that God doesn't require you to pray. Why does God need that? You know, but
Yeah.
God is the ultimate giver. Not that he doesn't need anything from you. He only gives, and he wants people to experience through prayer. That's how you experience God. It's good for you,
Right.
not good for him. You know.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we always go back to religion, don't we? Uh.
Well, at some point we will do a religion part two, but we'll talk about like old religions, like the first ever religion, things like that.
Oh
Or
man, the first.
we might touch upon religions we haven't done yet. Like
The,
we don't I don't think we talked about Judaism or anything.
yeah, Judaism. I don't really know much about. It's so
Same.
mystical. Judaism, there's so much mysticism around it. It's very similar to Islam,
Yeah, Islam and Judaism are very similar, yeah.
because they both have a lot of mystical elements. Um,
Except Jews are massive enemies in Islam. Like a lot
I
of the
don't
time when you read stories, the villains are Jews in Islamic
well
stories.
when I read the Quran, so I've read parts of the Quran. There's like a weird disconnect that I see in the middle of it between Jews. So at the beginning, God is
Oh,
like,
you mean how it gets
yeah,
more and more violent within like the
well,
chapters?
towards specifically towards Jews,
Yeah, yeah,
specifically
yeah.
because it's so random. Like, why? Uh,
I've got many theories on that.
I think obviously because I don't think the Quran was written by God. I think that's because slowly as Muhammad was taking over the Arabian Peninsula, there was more conflict with Jews, wasn't there? And so
Yeah. Also, I
that's
feel like because
obviously
people Jews used to make fun of him all the time because like they used to pray towards Jerusalem before,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
Jews
yeah,
made
yeah.
fun of him, and then all of a sudden, magically, oh no, we got to pray towards the Kaaba
Yeah.
now.
I've read that. I've read that in the history of Al-Tabari. I've read that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But anyway, we can't talk about religion anymore. That's our season finale exclusive topic.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah,
We're
monarchy.
nearing our next season finale.
Yeah,
That's gonna be an exciting one. Racism part two.
monarchy was a good episode though. Good
This is
episode.
good, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
excited for racism part two because you know how many debates we've had over this one key problem of what's it called? The history in the past and all that.
Oh man, that is such a. You
It's
know
such a
what?
sticking point.
We both hold good. They're both like good positions though.
Yeah, that's the thing in it. I want to
There's not
get like,
one.
yeah,
Yeah, it's not one of
I
us
want to get
being
like
like,
EK on
yeah,
board and all that shit. Like the last
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Richard's
yeah,
got some good strong takes. I want him on there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Richard is like that guy's crazy. You know that.
He's
Richard's
actually great.
crazy.
It's great. That's perfect. And we could have a 2 hour episode, and there's so many we have so much stuff we haven't talked about.
Yeah,
Oh man, it's gonna be good. But anyway, this
yeah,
episode's getting quite long now. So is there any
yeah.
final closing points you've got?
Um, I don't like the monarchy, by the way. I
Oh,
just think I don't like the monarchy. No, I don't
you just
like
think
it.
they're necessary evil.
Yeah, I think they're necessary to yeah, for the British identity and for maintaining some level of peace. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
fair enough. All right, my final closing statement is I think it's insane how we've completely swapped sides on this debate in the
Yeah,
span of like a few months. But and I feel like
university. uni, innit?
Uni. Have you seen like on the TikTok I posted like we've changed Ibrahim and we've changed Sona and I put like our different opinions on there? Have you seen
Yeah,
that?
yeah, 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 yeah. I
And
watched
it's
it.
like it's crazy how we've completely like done a complete like 180 from because like I feel like I haven't really seen that many takes, like different takes. It's just my perspective has changed a lot more all of a sudden from
Mm.
nowhere, which is crazy to me. And it's gonna keep happening. But I find that pretty interesting. And I can't wait for us to make like racism too. It's like you're like, oh no, it's calm. I don't mind we don't need to care about the history. And I'm like, yeah, no, history matters. History is important.
Nah,
Some
that won't happen. That won't happen. I'm quite steadfast. I'm quite
Yeah, I don't think that's
steadfast.
gonna happen either. Something like
Yeah.
that's gonna happen for one of the main topics. I can see it.
I
But anyway,
reckon
that's all.
we might
Yeah,
switch on like positive action or something. That would be something crazy.
that would be sick. I mean, I was thinking about positive action a bit more, but I'll save
Mm.
that for the racism episode. I'll save it for that.
Yeah, yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
but for now, you've been listening to Infallible. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.
All right. Bye.
Oh, you actually said bye this time.